So when we move cows, we move them anywhere from once to twice a day, depending on the rotation and what's growing. Cattle tend to move themselves, and we just kind of control it to allow for better utilization of the forage as they're growing, get more of a trampling effect, and help build soil. It's taking the natural instincts of the cattle and kind of scheduling it, so to speak.
Ryan Barrett. I'm the Research Agronomy Specialist for the Prince Agri-Environment Potato Board. We're out here at Kingston View Farms in Kingston, PEI, where I am working on rotational grazing projects as part of BMP2 with Living Labs PEI. We're interested to see, does having the cows in the field, as opposed to just having the forage and mulching it or removing it, is there an additive improvement to soil health and to soil nutrient availability by having the cows on the field?
I'm Nick Green, third generation farmer here at Kingston View Farms. From the start for me was to find a better way to utilize my land base. When I restarted the farm, I went back to traditional ways that I left as a teenager and started that and realized that I had to make some changes because the economies had changed quite a bit since then. And then looking for extra land in general and seeing land without livestock on it, you know, kind of put my shingle out there, so to speak, that I was interested in partnering up with anybody who'd be interested in putting livestock back into the rotation. Speaking with other farmers and Ryan from the Potato Board, lo and behold, there were some people interested, so we decided to put together a little trial and get some real data out of it and accomplish those two tasks at the same time.
So part of the argument is, if we just have grass and we just mow it, it breaks down very quickly on the surface of the soil and not as much of that material makes its way into the soil. There's value of the roots, of course, that are growing through the year that's building soil organic matter and feeding the microbes in the soil. But the addition of the cattle that are grazing it more often, making it regrow more often, making it expand its root mass more, as well as then immediately putting manure back into the system. Forages are going into the cattle, being broken down by the rumen and making that nutrient more available to the soil again. We don't have to go and, take it somewhere and compost it and put it back and spread it back on the field. It's going right back into the soil. Because we're returning that manure back into the field, we don't have to compensate as much with topping up with extra nutrition, like extra nitrogen and potassium and that sort of stuff.
We've long known that pasture land with cattle has always produced very productive yields. It's kind of been the folklore. You break up a pasture field and you're guaranteed to get very good results. So this is to get kind of the numbers behind that. So we're doing soil testing, yield results over a multi-year period.
Putting some data behind the anecdotes and being able to show growers how it may fit in their system, at the same time as Prince Edward Island has a strategy to grow its beef herd here. And to grow its beef herd, we need more access to fields that normally wouldn't have cattle on them. And so if we can better integrate livestock with our existing crop production, I think it's a win-win for everybody.
This is flexible farm trials that gives you real life data. It's subject to weather, it's subject to human error, and it gives us that natural trial environment, so that I think it has more hold for other farmers when they look at a trial that's done on farm by farmers. They know that not everything's necessarily perfect every day on the farm, so they know that that data is going to have real weight behind it. Partnering with Living Labs and Ryan from the Potato Board has been a huge asset in getting this trial and other stuff off the ground.